into
welcome to the best hip-hop podcast in the country. The Tribe UG podcast. And first of all, I want to send shout outs to Hassan. He's not around. Hassan is our sound guy.
Is that his wedding?
We don't know if it's his or he's at a wedding.
He would be telling you side chick it was a music video shoot. But Hassan left us in the good capable hands of EC. EC, the one who said Damzi, the body is banging. And of course, EC did come alone. He came with Emma the Madman. And also BRYAN. And then also, of course, me, I came with a madman as usual. And then also the Badman. The gangster HD Taka HD. You see, today I'm not going to introduce you guys because we are 9 episodes in.
Man,
so guys know you. So guys know you. But man, HD.
What if someone starts with this episode? What if someone starts with this episode?
Hey. They go back, they do revision. They know what I'm. Yeah, man. HD, thanks for coming through, man.
Pleasure to be here. Always.
Finally, we get to do this thing.
Yep.
I'm waiting.
As the first rapper to ever have a song reviewed on the Tribe UG. Finally, we get to sit down with you. It's an honor.
There was a mole. They respect me, please.
The first ever.
And also, I want to say that I came with House of Penda shades, and Mark took them. So all in all, House of Penda, mujeba leko. 9 episodes in, and we shout outs. But man, guys, it's been a while, but we're back.
Yep.
We're back from the island.
We're back in it.
And we are back to this thing. And a lot has happened between ever since we went to the island and now. A lot. And we're going to get into it.
Yeah, I think it's only right that we start with music.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's been a lot of music released, and the first set of songs we're going to talk about are those released by the man to my right, Taka HD, because since the last episode, that's episode 8, Taka has had 3, I think, whole songs out.
Yeah.
Started with Crucial Combo, Dotted Lines and Commas, with Blixxack. Gentlemen, how do we feel?
First of all, we are slaughtering the goats around here.
the ones that bleed at the
farm. Man, me personally, I related to that line a lot, man. And one day I'll probably speak on it, but
this is the day.
But yeah, this can't be the day that the Lord has chosen.
Did it speak to you the way it was meant, or because back in the day the village used to steal people's goats and slaughter them?
First of all, nakulira Kampala.
Because you see the line itself, what it says is quick reaction.
Yeah.
So when these goats bleed, you have to get them out. Before they infect everyone. So you need to speak now.
They have told you.
And then also, of course, shout outs to Blixxack, because Blixxack did what Blixxack does on a song.
Let me tell you, that was, I don't know, this recent, we talked about it last time, he's been on a roll, but this is just getting crazy. I can't believe, I feel like I'm so much, for someone who's been in the game for so long, it's interesting that I feel like I'm so much more of a fan now than I was at the start. It's like the growth is just great to see. Remember we said there's a difference between rapping for a long time and actual longevity. And that's the situation here where you're like, yeah, okay, he's rapped for a long time, but this great that's one of my favorite things he's done in ages.
This
and I loved skincare.
This crucial combination is quite unfair to the fans, to the competition, because back in the day at uni we used to have the Benny versus Taka, and then they're like, no,
this one is the best. No, this one is the best, and now they're like, we'll give you both of us.
Yeah, so you the best, like the best of both worlds. You're like, okay, now I guess it's both of them. United, the two camps instant.
Buy one, get one free.
But I feel like we made it easier. You can compare even.
Actually, I agree.
If that's what you're going for.
Yeah, because be like, no, on this one, Blixxack killed it, then Taka, but now you're like, I guess it's you. There's no comparison. Like together,
But,
they just make the thing work.
Also, for me on this song, it's how they picked up on each other's buzz and lines. Like,
it's not that someone said, here is a beat, let's come from wherever we are and drop on this beat and move. There's that continuity, and we still get the markets, the things which are the word marksman. No, there was a lot of mark in that jam. I love it. I'll go straight into the next one.
And unfortunately, that was just the skin. It had nothing to do.
What fascinates me is how after all this time, you're still in sync. Because even after he moved away and you stayed here,
he starts his verse by telling you about that.
We've been closer since he departed. Yeah. So I don't know how is it, because managing the relationship now must be
time difference.
Yes. How do you make that work?
And there's so much that goes into it, but I feel like the most important thing is we're passionate about what we do. We're passionate about what we do to the level whereby whatever time it takes, we're going to make it happen. I don't know if you guys have heard the story before, but Open Time was done in Sam had to make a makeshift studio at home because it was lockdown time. And it was very challenging for me because I'm used to proper Talent Africa studio set sound. So I was fighting.
Best of the best.
Yes. But then again, it was the same guy who makes everything.
Yeah.
But I was having a hard time. I think I was just mentally biased. I'd be like, but this one was not recorded in the same place. I'm here, Benny's hearing different things. Sam is like, you guys just trust me. This is the one. I don't have the system, but this is the one.
Yeah.
So it all goes, I think the core of it is we just enjoy what we do, and then we believe in each other. I believe Benny is going to do what he does to his best, and then Sam will do what. So it's always on me. Like I can't let them down.
And how do you keep the momentum? Because it's every project is better than the last one, which is really hard to do because there's always that argument of we missed the old so and so, but you guys keep us.
Who is so and so?
The most recent is better than the old version. So how do you manage to just keep elevating whatever you guys do together?
I honestly have no proper explanation. I think
a bad man's a bad man.
It's a blessing. Some people have it and some people don't. But that's not a diss. Because on the other side, some artists will come in swinging and their first song will be big, but then for some reason they'll fail to meet that standard going forward.
Yeah.
So I think it's just life. Some people get that, and obviously also hard work, man. Hard work. There are now some areas we have locked in where you're like, at least I know Benny will deliver this. I know Taka will deliver this.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right.
The next one, Ninja C, Tucker HD, Lamu.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
I should remain calm on this one, otherwise visa may be revoked again.
I think Ian should
Madam
start.
is not going to watch.
Felix, have you listened to that song?
Yeah.
We made that song to cater for you primarily and your audience.
Hey, wait.
Wow.
I want to know what you think about it.
First of all, who is me? This case.
Which
version of me is this? Waga.
Ever since you became Mr. Forbes, the test palette changed.
Hey, that one.
Hey, what do you mean it changed?
The man we used to shoot in a random place, now he makes us shoot at Nihati. Shout out to the good people of Nihati for letting us use your space. And by the way, for all of you that are out there that keep supporting the pod, I mean, y'all are bad guys. And for those that want to join them, guys, it's very simple. You can send some money to 624404. That's 624404.
First of all, shout out to Ninja C.
Yeah.
The work is coming out.
Yeah.
The work is coming out regardless. She's putting in that work. And again, it's a situation of where, like Ian said earlier, the latest song is better than the songs before. So all in all, I'm eager to see the project she's working on as a whole body of work, to see what she's doing. But then also, I think, I don't know who is around her in terms of guiding the music and all those things, because they're doing an excellent job.
Okay.
Yeah, they're doing an excellent job, and you can see it clearly through the music you listen to and what she's putting out, and then also how she's releasing the music and all those things. And speaking of Ninja C, she just released a Ninja C Attitude.
Oh yeah,
the one that we talked about. Platforms. She now put it on streaming platforms, right. So you can go do revision.
I wish more artists can do that. There's a lot of good music that was released, of course, in the streaming platform era.
Like those clear-cut albums.
There's no Mind, Body and Soul out there, guys. Like there's a lot of music that, you know, if you are not there to have the CD way back when, you don't have access to that good. Like we said, we have EC back behind the scenes. EC may not have listened to Mind, Body and Soul. I mean, so we need to make sure that he can get on some of that good, not just All I Wanna Know.
And I feel like of course,
it's also important for like those artists with catalog. Like people might know them for their hits, but they don't know the bodies of work. So now that music is a bit more accessible than it was back then, it's much easier.
And you know, the streaming era has made it easier for us to appreciate artists we loved back then, but didn't necessarily have the opportunity to listen to their albums. There's a time I was listening to Navio's old albums, and then I get to like Pride and African Hustle. I'm like, hold on. It was this jam-packed. I'm like, how don't I remember this from back in the day? But we didn't really have access to full albums unless you get a CD. So it's just...
Walito ina CD player. Walikuna kiva ni scan.
Yeah, but you know, it's like it helps you to appreciate some of these talents that, you know, like Navio is a legend. But when you actually go back, it builds the respect you've had for him over time. So even for Ninja C and all these artists bringing their music to streaming platforms now, yeah, it does well to help reaffirm your fans, convert new ones. It's something that everyone ought to do.
Yeah, but back to what do you mean?
What do you mean? Yes, it's you as the Lamu authority to...
Of course, it's... for me, I was biased from the start. You don't put Taka HD and Lamu and Ninja C on the same track. I'm a huge fan of all of them. From the jump, I was like, okay, even if they just play the instrument and put featuring so and so, me, I love the song. So.
As if I started... No, never mind.
Oh, I see where you're going.
No.
Yeah, but I love the track and I love the blending of the different styles. Of course, Taka did what Taka does. When Taka is on a track, you don't really have to, like, it's like good food. You don't have to go in expecting, you know what to expect and you get it in its full capacity. Only that may tweak here, put some new ingredients, but the quality remains the same. Of course, Lamu, oh my God, Lamu. Of course, Lamu did what she does best. And Ninja C, like, it was nice putting all these artists together to blend the different styles to give us something that caters for everyone, different styles, same genre.
But you guys also realize how Ninja C has been, okay, I don't know if it's deliberate, but like sort of like putting on females on her songs. Was the previous one was with Akane
and Taka.
And now you have Lamu.
We're talking about the female.
Yes.
Now you have Lamu also coming through and killing it.
I hope it's deliberate.
It's probably deliberate.
Yeah, because
like I say, the people around her, they're doing a good job doing this.
She tells you, she puts a lot of thought into these things.
But what I can say about what do you mean, and even with pause, these people end up on the songs because I feel like they're also deliberate about their movements.
Yeah.
Now, Ninja C and I, there's just a certain way we work. It's like it's always quick, and that's why. For those who have been asking, I have songs with Ninja C, and they just really come off the cuff. Like she's very easy to work with.
Yeah.
And the songs we've done with Lamu, with Akine, these are people we've met in studio and we're like, you know what, let's create something right now from scratch. And they're always willing to work, come back, fix something, and get it out. So I believe that's it, and hopefully we can find a bit more of them so we can get them out there, let people hear their music.
And hopefully we can hear that Ninja C Taka HD project.
Return of the Ninja in HD, what?
Not my place to speak. Fingers crossed.
Let us save you from that and go into the next one, which we're very excited to talk about. Taka then appears on Wake's song, Flex, Wake, Tucker, Malex, Flex the paper.
Flex the paper. Yeah.
Flex.
Yeah? Malex, finally. It had been a while.
Had it though? Since Naxa. Man, Mal.
No, you see, there's dropping on a Naxa track or something, but there is, I think because he's on the centerpiece on the hook. Yeah, it makes it, you're like, oh, he's actually really, I hope he's really, really back because...
Do you guys hear them? They're tiptoeing. They did that tiptoe dance. I'll say what everyone wants to say, but can't say. And I'm going to say this because it was the first thing Sam told me. Sam Lamar, shout out Sam. We wanted the Malex verse.
Yes, no,
I don't know if you guys feel the same way. But Sam was like, the hook is amazing. We wanted the Malex verse.
Yeah.
Like when you have Malex, you don't just have him on the hook only. Like you also have
No, you see, because we've not gotten him for a while, so when people bring him through, we want the verse because we want the full, the full experience.
But eventually I thought about it. I'm like, maybe it's good we didn't get it.
I mean,
so that if he's really back, now you're like, we didn't get the verse. When he drops something, you're like, yes, finally, the verses are here.
That's another way to look at it.
Yeah.
Hopeful way. Well, last year he gave us a verse on Naxa's song, and now he gave us this hook. So we hope that, and he's actually on 2 songs on Wake's album, so we hope that he's coming through with something. But the song was so dope, we released our second press play video.
Yeah.
Flex. For those of you who haven't watched it, please be serious. Let's be focused.
Yeah,
but that video is fire. Y'all did a good job. Made us feel hella underdressed behind the scenes. Ian felt so bad he didn't show up. The rest of us were there carrying lights but hiding to make sure we're not caught.
When they told me you guys are wearing suits, I'm like, shit, I need to drive home and get a suit.
You come in the suit.
So I didn't make it. I got home, it was not ironed.
No. It was a dope song. The verses, man, and that's the thing. Wake, I was so happy. And I'll talk about Wake's project later, but let me just focus on this song. I was so happy to hear Wake just deliver some good work. And right from his verse, like it in this song, it sets the tone. You go through it, and you're like, boom. Then Taka comes through after and banange.
Yeah.
Hey. This is why I call the Sweet 16 of the Year award, Taka's award. Like how in the NBA, it's not about you. It's like, how do I say? Like in the NBA, how this award, like the MVP award is named after so and so. The All-Star MVP is a Kobe Bryant All-Star MVP. The main MVP is Bill Russell. Like stuff like that. And RIP to both. Like I feel like the Sweet 16 is the Tucker HD Sweet 16 award. Because what the hell? Like we have so many songs to choose from every single time and we're like, I think they should just stop giving it to you and just name the award after you and give other people. because what the hell, man?
But then that only reinforces like the conversations we have behind the scenes. And I always tell you guys, when you get a spot on someone else's song, that's your time to shine. Exactly. You're exposing yourself to a different audience, this person's market. So impress them to the best of your ability. They're not going to pick a fake guy to be on the song.
Yeah. You see, I used Tucker as an excuse once and people thought I was just saying stuff. I'm happy he has said it right now without me prompting it. When I talked about Wake's poem, and I'd had a conversation with Tucker, like, no, but if Flex brings Wake onto his project, he's brought him because he believes he has something dope to offer. And Wake also on his end has to deliver the best of what he can deliver so that he breaks through to that audience as well. And so when I say my favorite thing on Flex's project was Wake's poem,
you repeated
it's tribute to to both of them, to Wake for killing it and to Flex for understanding that he needed Wake to come and kill it. I don't know. You guys still have both my excuses.
Nope.
All I know, Flex said it used to be hand on the rifle. Now it's on the Bible. So the man might pull through with a rifle. You never know.
He's now pulling through with prayers. I'm safe.
So you missed the video shoot. Tell us from us we are biased because we were at this location, we're in editing, we're in what?
For me, first of all,
we fought with lights.
LNF did an incredible job. I don't know who designed the set though. Still LNF.
Did you see that behind the scenes where Felix was writing?
Yeah, because the creativity of using the non-light to the initials for the rappers' names, that was lit. And I noticed when the video was uploaded, somebody in the comments pointed it out.
Yeah.
As if it wasn't obvious. But then also, what's funny is people are like, oh, really? Oh, by the way. I'm like, Someone said, that's ad right there.
Someone typed it and said, oh, nice what you guys did with the lights. I've just noticed. Then someone came through like, oh, it takes a genius to see that.
Yeah.
We're like,
and at first it was like as if obvious. We're like, hey, this is the minimum we can do.
Yeah, but you see, that's the beauty. That's the beauty in art. It's like poetry. How everybody.
Hold on, the writer time to say.
You see, it might seem obvious, but until you actually interpret what they were trying to do, because that's what makes art beautiful. It's like all these art pieces, we see someone gets a paintbrush and throws paint and like, oh my God, I see the way the paint reacts to the canvas. You're like,
but did you see LNF's Beyonce?
Yeah. Oh, yes, I did.
Hey, a bad man's a bad man. But anyway,
speaking of LNF's Beyonce, we need an exhibition from LNF, because he even took some dope photos at the island where we were. And so basically what we are saying is we're sponsor. We are multi-talented. We also do art and things like that, so we can do an art exhibition.
Wait, so are you saying you're getting sponsors for LNF or you want to tap into the income?
Both. The Bible says you have to have 7 streams.
Because the way you're speaking, it's like this is income motivated.
Non-profit.
How do you think you got onto Forbes?
We're not a charity organization. We are no longer doing it for the culture.
The words said on the podcast, the words on the podcast are by
those things for the culture. They used to be when AfriCell was still in the market and data was cheap. But now things are tight. There is equipment, there is lights, there is yaka, there is what, there's fuel. So we are looking at the coins also. That's why we have a MoMoPay number. Mark, first read it again.
Before we offend our political connection, I would like to remind you all that, guys, you can give us a sponsorship and cut Felix out. You don't need him. And if you send that money, you can even put a comment, but don't use this for Felix. You just send it to 624404. That's 624404. And we'll get right out of that into a lot of other artists have released a lot of music. And there's just so much to pick from, so we won't talk about all of it. I know there are those people who will say, but even me, I released. Guys, the producer is on the clock right now, so but we've had
some even me's from like a week ago.
Even me. No, let them sing that church one. But anyway, we'll start the one we're going to start with, of course, having had Tucker on part 1, which was fire, by the way. We won't even talk about UG's Most Wanted the first again, but UG's Most Wanted, Big Ben, and many. And the homie, Wonder JR, VKC, Ninja C's,
LB.
LB brought it. Price at the end. Anyway, yes.
So Tucker, since you were on the initial one, what did you think of chapter 2?
First of all, how would you rate this one out of 10? Everything from production, marketing, video, everything out of 10.
You can give it with commentary.
Can I just rate the song?
Everything.
No, because you can't comment on everything. We don't know what was going on behind the scenes. Us the fans, we only get the song and the video.
I like your political answer. Keep
it. But guys,
so I would give it a 7.
You're very generous.
I would give it a 7, and it's high already because I know they could have made this one a 10. Because the thing with those sequels, you always have something to reference.
Right.
So evidently I expected it to be better than one. To me, it wasn't better than one. That's what I'll say.
Definitely not. Sorry.
True that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when Taka said 7, you said it's too generous.
In my, I'd give it a 3.
Like, he has red card.
Okay.
Because you see, the second coming has to be better.
What was it? The Last Supper?
Yeah.
Yeah, Last Supper.
Yeah, you see, because I guess the only is human resources. You're hearing this guy. My biggest issue with this chapter 2, my 3 out of 10 is for everything: the rollout, the marketing, the pushing, the track, the features, the video, everything. The issue I have with chapter 2 was chapter 1 was good, and if you give us chapter 1 that's good, and every rapper just keeps adding on to the track, so that you have a whole package and it's easy to listen to because everybody's just in their zone, everyone is just different, it just goes. And then you give us, when you're hyping us for chapter 2, expectations are here. If you bring us here, we'll go lower than that. Because the challenge I faced with this one, first of all, it's like nobody really wanted to push, because once the track was out, it made noise in the moment and then it disappeared. But this is now how many years after chapter 1, but we still talk about it to date. Yes. We still reference it. We still listen to it. But this one, I don't think all the artists there, I don't think everybody brought their A game except Ninja C though. I was impressed with what she was able to deliver. And first of all, I felt like she was completely out of her comfort zone, because you're stepping up to still be yourself when others are stepping out to prove that they can rap. So Wonder JR, for the intro, I felt it didn't quite belong there. He's so much better than that project. The homie was good. We get to see him release more music and really put us on. In general, I felt it was not handled with the importance it was supposed to. And the track, I think Big Ben focused on a chapter 2 and forgot the legacy chapter 1 created, and you're supposed to follow it up. He just did it as a chapter, just did a song without, you don't care, like you forget the legacy, you're supposed to follow this thing up. The way we were saying how Tak and Benny keep getting better, at the back of their minds, I'm sure they know what they keep delivering. So you cannot give us a new project and just give us 4.
Like our podcast keeps getting better.
Exactly. Yeah. So like we cannot. Yeah, we cannot. You cannot.
No, man. I feel like we spent a lot of money on the islands after a bit.
Oh my God. Felix, what did you think about it?
Man, as someone who worked on chapter 1, I was disappointed, honestly. First of all, I was really disappointed. Really disappointed.
But first of all, I was really disappointed.
So I would lose on the song, the verses that are on, I would keep like 3.
Okay.
And delete others or replace them.
Better.
That's the first thing. Because now like a price verse, to me, it didn't do anything on that song.
And it's one of his favorites. Right?
Then also it felt like the price verse should have been on, like prices, not verse, his presence should have been on chapter 1.
Huh?
No,
his presence as an artist, as price, as what price represents.
Yes.
Maybe you're trying to say on a better song.
Yeah.
Like on a better.
But also on this one, I feel like he should have come sooner.
That's what I'm saying.
They put him too far.
No, that's also
yeah, man, Ian. Even take it there. Don't understand.
Then the marketing, because not the market. Let me say the rollout, because marketing may call for some finances. The rollout wasn't that great because we were part of the rollout of chapter 1, and the rollout of chapter 1, I remember it was nice. Like even at the video shoot, we were present because we got content from the video shoots. Like we're part of the project, let me say. So when we got to speak about the project, we knew what had gone on behind the scenes. So we are speaking from an informed perspective, and then also we are speaking of this thing that we love that Big Ben is trying to create.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing. Then we get to the video. The main character of the video was the Talent Africa building.
Main character.
And then these other guys who are supporting the building. Like, I didn't get that. But then also, I decided.
So it should be Talent Africa building featuring.
But then also, I didn't want to say a lot because having done the press plays and seeing what goes in creating videos and all that, it's tough, it's hectic and all that. Because the video. The building kept coming through and coming through. Then the rappers themselves, it's like they were passing by Talent, and then they told them, "Oh, we have a shoot up there. First come." Because if you look at how chapter 1 was organized, how it was thought out, the orange jumpsuits, all that.
This one says and fade, and the way he fades.
Then you have Kisementi at night, and then I'm like, Kisementi parking lot, tukola yochi. I'm like, okay. But then next week we're releasing the press play of Wake. I was like, I'm not going to say a lot because even me, I don't know what I have. Then it's still on the rollout. Yeah? So now you cut out these verses, right? So that you can use them as social media promo material.
Yes.
Then VKC's verse. There's a part where she starts the verse and then she's like, "Whoa!" Like she shouts, "Whoa!" The guy cropped that way. She says, "Whoa!" And then took that. So I'm like, okay. I'm singing the song online, and then the only video I'm seeing, the rapper shouting, "Whoa!" I'm like, what's that? Like, even that you can't chop a verse properly and then you put it up. So I'm like, even like there are things that went there, and I'm like, no, guys, you could have done better. And here's also the other thing I'm going to say. I don't know how factual it is, but I feel like there are projects Taka has been a part of. And their rollout has gone impeccable. So sometimes I feel Taka does something to these guys when they're going to release a project. Or why he lectures them, or why he does what, I don't know. But he's going to speak on it. But they're not like redefinitions. Taka was a part of that. It went proper. Chapter 1, you just say proper.
Yeah.
If you look at the most recent, let's not even look at the most recent. Look at when they were going to release Open Time.
Yeah.
Crucial combination. Proper. So this time, I don't know, but they didn't consult Taka. I don't know, but guys, consult Taka. There's something. I think he has a lecture room where he sits down, guys, and like, guys, this is how it's going to be done. This is how we are going to do it, and we have to do it.
If the rollout is fake, delete my verse.
Look at dotted lines and commas.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, we had the countdown. There's artwork for that. There's playlist.
Because now, if you look at chapter 1, when Big Ben called us for chapter 1, we looked at it and we were like, okay, we have all these rappers. So what do we do with them? We decided to interview one by one. We even interviewed Josh S. because I think he was the producer who came up with it. We interviewed him like, what does this mean to you? And all this is content you can use. So now, same thing, you have these guys. And all you've decided to do with them is chop out a verse where someone is shouting roar. And I'm like,
okay.
Anyway.
Roar.
So my rating, I'm relatively around 2. What would you put negative scales?
Okay, so first of all.
No, what's your rating?
Please. The negative scale. What?
Let's first circle back.
No, Jesus. A lot has been said about that song. One of the things that we had a conversation about is something it's good for is it brings out a lot of artists that people might not know.
Right.
Like someone like a VKC has been around, but as if behind the scenes. And remember, we even looked at her before we did episode 2 last season. But like, yeah, you know, she's one of those people that's been around and some people may not have access to her. So to have her immediately after I Wonder JR is like, hey, Siko, this person, she's there. LB, I like that verse. I like that she came through. I didn't understand anything she was saying, but she was for her, she was having fun. She was bringing it, dancing, she was in her zone. I liked that about her performance and how they followed her up immediately with that whole dancehall flow vibe in the next verse. The homie, I mean, I think he had a good verse. I actually have only one issue with it, that industry plant. But I think it's a dope verse. But still, like, there's a lot of, like, the way the thing is, I think what helped us in part 1 is we had few artists, so we get to fully dive into what they have to offer.
Yeah.
So we didn't have like small music. We get to really experience. They're well arranged. You know, you start with what Tushi did at the start. She's bringing it, switches up language, brings it. Tucker checks in, brings it, gives us 826, and then G.O.A.Ts checks in, who is about to release a project. Watch out for that. We're looking forward to it. Really excited. I hope it goes right because I'm so excited about it. G.O.A.Ts comes through. He's like, I'm not going to compromise who I am. Me, this is what I bring. These other people, they're like,
they compromise, but they chose to compromise.
They compromise Booza Felix.
They don't even write the verse.
but still, G.O.A.Ts checked in, gave us a vibe. Then Play said, time for flow.com.
Yep.
Flow. And Big Ben did what I wished he had done on this other side. He rapped in the other language, not English. But this one.
What are you saying?
No, I am clearly saying that.
He's saying he prefers when Big Ben
Thank you.
raps in Luma Sava compared to when he raps in English.
Yes, like that.
Editing, please cut out this clip for us. We need to tag someone.
That is obviously better than the guy who said negative scale. But anyway, yes, Big Ben at the end, like coming through all these verses and getting to the end, like, and you see that ending phase of Ninja C Price heading into the Big Ben at the end. It looked like it was going for a strong finish, and you see Ninja C. I like that she brought in the sides in, or as a, reference to Price. Whose verse is next to hers. I think that's really dope. And then you go to Big Ben, and I'm like, no, like I really, you don't understand. Like, I really love how he kills it. Like, it's too much. Like, when he's not rapping in English, he's just violent. Like, he's a bringer of it. It is too much. He actually kills the hell out of it. And this other side is average. And like, for me, if you're special at that, like if you're that special, because I mean, if I don't understand the language, but I feel I feel it 100%, then that is like, keep that, because you're killing it each and every time. I do not understand how you anyway, I understand, sometimes you wanted Sheila Gashumba to get his shot. He wanted to understand. He likes her. He had to say how she can understand, but...
Okay, so now I feel like...
Did you hear that?
No!
God!
I had a comment.
No!
My God. So had it not been for Sheila, he would have given us a good verse. Had he forgotten about shooting his shot, the verse would have been lit. Mark, what are you saying?
Well, how was Ian connected those as notes?
I feel like being in this position, I'm now being part of these hooligans. I'm being put in a position where now I have to play devil's advocate.
Speak your truth. Just speak your truth.
Because as an artist, and this is going to sound like I'm really copying a plea for guys, but like as an artist, we want to create.
Yeah,
we experiment with things.
Yeah,
true.
And some things might work, some things might not.
Yes.
Case in point, I have some fans who hate when I sing. And yes, I will be the first to admit that sometimes when I sing, it doesn't work the way I want it to. But I know I'm not a singer. I'm just trying to convey an emotion. So for me, that's enough for me. But for you, who's expecting me to sing at those levels, the actual singers do, you might be disappointed.
The Damzi level.
Shout out Damzi. But I guess that's the things. Like, sometimes an experiment might not work as well. We're only unfortunate that we get to experiment in public. We experiment in public. Sometimes. I mean, some people are lucky enough. The producer will tell you, yeah, this is not working, and this, that, and the third. But then again, some artists are stubborn, because they'll be like, yes, but me, I want this. So sometimes maybe it's just a case of an experiment gone wrong.
Yeah.
And you live with it. You can create. You can always create what you're known for. What I would say about everything you guys have said, it goes back to time and strategy.
Right.
Because me, as someone who was part of one, I know 2 felt rushed. You could like just feel it popped out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And they didn't plan the release out. And I feel like maybe that should be a lesson. Because me, when I say me and Benny are passionate about, we look at these things like, bruh, I don't know how easy it is for some people to write. Some people freestyle off the dome. Some of us really give these things time.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to spend so much time in studio, so much money, and then I'm like, okay, now you guys have. It doesn't make sense. So I think like maybe that's something they and us as artists in general need to revise. I always look at that. That's why the rollouts and everything seem a bit detailed.
Yeah.
But that's what it is. Just give it.
I always tell people still as a fan, what you've said to do with time. As a fan, if I don't get the feeling that you care about your song, I don't see why I should care about it. So if your song comes and goes, like I saw one tweet when it came out and now I have to search to look for it again because you've never talked about it again. I'm like, but the song was yesterday. How are there like 10,000 things about other things, like, and not the song? And that's something I find very weird. So, like, anyway, it's like what I said. It's like I was worried when Abasa released. I've said this before. When Abasa released his project Mountains on the Moon last year, he released it and was off the socials for a week. That week, I was worried. I was like, Monday, the song is out. I'm ready. It's December. 1,000 things on the timeline.
Yeah,
he was gone. The album was great. I really wanted to engage. I wanted to talk about this sample. I was like this, the harmonica in the other song. Like, I had so many things, but I'm looking, he's nowhere. He's not. And I'm like, are other people getting to hear this? Am I the only one because I am me and I knew I was going to listen to it in advance or whatever? And how are other people going to get to this?
Yeah.
And then when he popped back the next Monday and said, I was like, oh, phew. Because that's someone I really, really like. So I was worried. I was like, maybe, like I said, maybe he was tired from making all that fire. When he finally dropped it, he first took a break. But we've really stayed on Eugene's Most Wanted.
Yeah, but the beauty of this chapter 2, chapter 3 is definitely going to be better. So, like the experiment that didn't quite work and chapter 1 that worked
for the next.
You put it together. I'm frankly looking forward to chapter 3 because it can't be this bad.
And this is why I wanted us to go. Guys, Kohen, Jaycee, Conrad. Juliana. What do we think?
It was, this one came out when? Friday? Yesterday? Of course, Kohen, Jaycee. Kohen does what Kohen does. It's autopilot at this point.
You guys have to stop saying, of course, Taka did what Taka does.
No, but like, at this point, if you don't know. Okay, let me say, Kohen, when we say Kohen does what Kohen does, I mean, the vocals were right, the flow was right, and of course, now we're going to know some Julianas out there. Frankly, don't know any. So we're going to be like, oh, my song. Oh,
they're going to call us like, Kohen talked about me. You know, it's my middle name.
My only issue with this song, it's too short. Like
1 minute 57. What the hell, man? Let me tell you something.
It's over before it starts.
As the Kohen advocate
on the payroll,
I am not on Kohen payroll. Please,
okay. the way Mark was tweeting, you would think that song is like 5 minutes long.
No,
your tweets are longer than the song.
The coins have been shifted.
My tweets are longer than the song. No, but one thing about that song though. No, I understand these guys give us a lot of that short music. Sigania is 2 minutes 12. This one is 1 minute 57. Eva was a full song. I was like, hey, Kohen gave us a full song. Like, verse 1, verse 2, bridge, everything. Like, the breakdown.
Short songs,
maybe that's how he feels about Eva, and that's how he feels about
Juliana. Okay, maybe he had more to say about Eva than Juliana. But that said, this 157 thing, the issue with it is not that, because like with the one he did before, Catalea, we're going to hear those Cataleas as well. Catalea with rhythm that he did just before, it's also pretty short. I think they stopped singing it right about then, the 150 mark, but they gave us full verses before that. Like we had a rhythm verse, hook, Kohen verse, hook, and then comes the sax. But with this one, it's not just as it's short, because Conrad does a great job with his verse.
Yeah.
And, you know, he starts it off with that yelele, and then he keeps it going, like he keeps the flow going, and I think that was pretty dope. I mean, Conrad also always does a good job. We talked about his album, and we're like, there's nothing really to say. Every song is correct. Like, there's really nothing to say about his project that released last year. So it's the same thing with this. His verse is seamless. What happens with Kohen's, though, is it's like he gives us an intro hook, the verse, a mini bridge, and
that's it.
So the corner of a mini bridge, and it's done. So it's like we don't even get a Kohen verse, what I would call a Kohen verse.
Yeah.
So that's my only thing missing is it's not just that it's short, it's that I didn't get to see Kohen do that kind of thing that he does in his verses. And if I'm talking about that, let me say Kohen is the way he writes. There's a lot of songs, especially in R&B, like first of all, rhyming. Rhyming is something that just helps with writing of songs. It helps with melody. It helps with things like that. Kohen weirdly writes verses without rhyming. There's like the content is so good, and the melody, and of course the fact that he can sing like that helps. But like he just keeps it going, and the thread it's like he's telling you a story, and he just keeps going, and that always helps. It's so dope. I'm always intrigued to see what he's going to write in the next one.
Yeah, and he's holding in a comment.
I think we should always time Mark when he's talking about Kohen. What is it?
Okay, but this time we didn't get that. So yes, the next song is Joshua Baraka.
Clearly, this was a Kohen song alone. The other guy featured.
We're talking about Conrad.
Let's run him for a second and move on.
Anyway, because Conrad did what he did. No, Joshua Baraka.
Cause
the eye is not like that.
That song, I like that song, and I think they should have a hip hop version, just like rappers, just killing it, like with of course Joshua on the hook, but I feel like it would push the song in another direction, another distance.
Didn't he try to do something like that?
I
saw a J.O.A.T verse. I don't know.
I know J.O.A.T was just showing love, I think.
They should show him the love back. I get what you're saying.
No, it reminded me of, you know, when Felix said that, I remembered, what's that, The Dream, was it Rocking That Thing?
Yeah.
Because, you know, because The Dream has his version, solo, bringing it, killing it. People showed love, so like J.O.A.T.
Yeah.
Remember, Ian, there's that Trey Songs, the Trigger verse?
Yeah.
Trigger remix. And then later you have the hip-hop, whatever, with Dream doing the same hook, same beat, same everything. Then you have a Luda, Rick Ross, and that's really dope. So when you say that, that's what I picture. I picture Joshua coming through with these ideas.
Did you say Luda or Aluda? Sorry, I
also had Aluda na tweet
Munage weka that album MWOTTY Mana weka on the track.
Yeah, I do. Exportable music, good music.
Exportable.
Exportable. You have to be smart to get right.
You have to be a genius. I get a guy in the comments.
Because from Luda to this.
Wake had an album, yo.
Yeah.
Wake. Let me not talk before Ian says I'm on payroll. You guys stand.
Well, Taka, as an artist that featured, what did you think of the entire project?
First and foremost, I don't think he has said this enough that he produced.
Yeah.
I saw
my God.
I saw
the tweet and I'm like, he needs to. Anyway.
And this is someone who I think started production in 2020.
What?
So in literally like 2 years, he has had so much growth.
Lockdown.
Because the first time I heard the beat to Flex, it sounded completely different. So much that when I listen to it back, because I have this paranoid thing with me, I always want to hear what I sound like at least before the album drops or before the song drops. So when he sent me this thing, like it was completely different. I couldn't believe what he had done with it.
Yeah.
So,
man,
produced and executive produced and recorded and like did everything. So I always big up guys who can do that, man. Like I only know how to rap, but but it's a very impressive project for someone who, for most people, has been predominantly known as a poet.
Yeah.
So putting out a full body of work that's hip hop is dope stuff. I'm really happy for him, and I'm so happy I could contribute to it.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It was a breath of fresh air because it's
a buffer.
I knew Mark is going to say that.
Yeah, because it's I like what's happening in the industry now. I like that artists can create for the genre, but within their space. And what Wake did was him not trying.
Sometimes I think, yeah, this bullshitting guys. That makes sense. But guys, know him struggling at the start. But
I'm looking for the right words. Because you see, if you're doing a hip hop album, ideally we would expect it to sound and feel a certain way. But if you're somebody like Wake, who's a poet, and you're creating for this genre, it's interesting when you approach it your own way and it works. Because you could have chosen to conform to what the genre is supposed to sound like, but you're like, no, it's still for this genre, but I'm Wake. This is what I create like. This is what my music sounds like. This is what I've given you. And we get it as the fans, as the behind the microphone people. And we actually appreciate what you're trying to do, and it still relates with the genre you're creating for. For me, what I look forward to is I look forward to consistency from Wake, because the formula works. I hope he doesn't get, like, down the line, I hope he does not get influenced by expectations and stuff. It should be a moment of cancel the noise out, keep creating, because what you're doing is working.
What say you, Felix?
Next time I'm going for a pitch meeting, I'm taking Ian. I like the music, and then also the authenticity bit to it all. When you listen to the music, when you listen to the poems on there, you can see Wake has been authentic. Then I like that he struck a balance between his poetry people and also his rapping community.
Yeah.
In terms of the features.
Yeah.
And then also, lastly, the branding of the whole album. It has been great, has been excellent, and then also it has been consistent all the way to the event, because he's doing an event, and you can see the poster he did.
8th October.
The branding has been consistent throughout, and I think that's something that is major.
Me, the one who's not on payroll, I was relieved, first of all. You know, I've talked a lot about Wake over the years, whether it's the recent Flex situation or the gospel, the Fuse Cypher.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of those, the movement poem. Check out Wake has been doing a lot. Check out the article on the Tribe UG website. But when he finally releases his first album, you're like, please kill it. And you start it off and dive right in. And something we said about Naxa, where we're like, gospel or Christian music, that's great music.
Yeah.
Like, it's great music that happens to be Christian music.
Yeah.
Not that thing of, if you don't get it, it's because you don't get that you don't get Christian music. No. You can make great music. It's such, like, you see Wake through and through. Like you said, the poetry, the instruments that are used in each of the songs. It's just a great body of work. And one of the things I love the most about it is how it's arranged. Like, the songs are arranged in perfect order for you to get the right listening experience. You know, starting it off from the jump, and it just keeps going. You have Malek's in early, so that's already, an easy access to bringing it. Malek's from the jump. He by the time he gets into the section where he brings, I think he has Magero, then Muvule with Wanda, then the two, for the Savior. the 2 versions of For the Savior, the one where he does it alone and the remix. And then we go into Flex. That section of the album, I'm like, guy. Like, the guy has really... And then to round it all off and end with the poem, the song that has the 3 verses that are spoken word, that is his, which was epic. And by the time you get to Sebolule at the end, you're like, yeah, we're done with this album. This is how you end an album. Like, you go out with something special that makes you remember that, okay, yeah, this was a whole body of work that was great.
Yeah.
And that track arrangement for me was one of the highlights of his album. One more album before we leave this section.
Which one? This one.
It's tricky. Tricky Times, Rebel City. Yeah. Why are you scrolling through your phone?
You know, last week I tweeted asking guys to put me on the music they were listening to, because I always feel like even in our circles, as much as we're really into the music thing, you don't really get to hear everything. People made several recommendations, and one of the ones that stood out from the jump was Tricky Times, Rebel City.
You happened to tweet on the same day?
Yeah, actually, as soon as I saw the track list, I even tweeted about it. I saw Lucas Black on it. I saw Akane. I'm like, this must be dope. But I guess my expectations were quite... Instantly, I think my expectations were shot down. And you see, it's...
shot down by the rebels.
For me, I'm going to do a review later in the week. It's going to be up on our website. But I guess for me, my issue with this project comes from how it does not sound deliberately done. It does not sound like it was taken seriously. It does not sound like there was proper planning that went into it. And you know, I don't want to sound like somebody that's just saying this for the sake. I actually went back and listened to previous projects. I listened to this whole project, and I don't think I've been more... I don't think my expectations have been more let down by a project than this project, because the writing is lazy. You're trying to tap into a lot of references so that you can make the music relatable. That Rihanna sample, first of all, I don't know if it was cleared. Like, there's just so much that goes into it that shows how this was done for the sake of doing it, which is very disappointing, because by the time you have access to Akane, you have access to Lucas Black, it means you've sort of earned the right to be at their level. So how do you get access to them and misuse it like that? I don't want to say too much about it because I have a well-detailed article about it, but I think, in my opinion, this is easily one of the worst projects I've listened to in a very long time.
How do we get out of this one, Felix? I've just listened to a bit of it, you know, today morning before I made it here. I listened to a bit of it. I haven't listened to all of it. But what I could pick up was, I think the songs were not given enough time.
Yeah.
As an artist, like, because I always feel like that's important. I feel like the songs were just not given enough time. I feel like if it were up to me, the production would have been stronger. The artists themselves feel like they can deliver better, like Ian said.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing I picked up on, and we'll probably give it more listens, see if my mind changes.
I was looking at the track list again, and yeah, like Ian said, you know, the moment I looked at the thingy, I see Lucas Black on track 1. As someone who listened to and wrote about his project, reviewed it, I was excited. Look down the line, I see Akane. Again, someone who wrote about her project, I'm happy. Look down the line, I see Drills. I know he's been tweeting a lot. So I've been paying attention. I've been checking out every song he releases as well. So I was like, you know, I look at the track list. It's 7 songs. I'm like, cool. Let's go and see. I started off and I have issues that since I'm not in Ian's review, I have my words. My issues are not, you know, where people say tastes and preferences about what, maybe it wasn't meant for you. there are things that are taste and preferences, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But then there are other things, like for me, like singing on key is not about taste. There are certain, like if it's off key, it's off key. It may be intentionally off key. That that could be some art. Maybe I'm the one who's not getting that there was some intentionally off key hooks. But still, like they're just those small things. The way you're like, if you hear that again, I've been with a couple of artists in studio recently, and there's something, just a word which sounds a bit off. It feels like it comes on too strong into the hook, and they're like, no, we have to go back and do it again.
Which ones?
So when I hear some simple things that are correctable, I don't get it. Like for me, and this is what we said in the last episode when we were on the island talking about mistakes. And there are things I just don't get because I feel like you have an opportunity to correct them. So I don't see how it comes through. Because then you get out of the hook that's off key, and the first verse enters off key as well. Like they actually clash with each other so bad, and you're like, oh my God, like it's tough. Although one thing, I've seen them perform at Smack League, and one thing I'll say about them, in the past, we've listened to a lot of music, and they have good energy performing. And I for some of the songs that I didn't really feel as much, knowing the way they perform, I feel like some of them will come off better in that live vibe, in those energy vibes where guys are just bringing it. I feel like some of them will be pulled off better in that environment.
Yeah.
But still, in terms of sitting down and I'm listening to your project, I know apart from those 2 times that I gave it a go, because when it came out, I listened to it twice in a row, and it's me just really wanting, because I really wanted, I wanted to pick up on it and but it failed me, and I don't think I'll do it again after those 2. But Taka mentioned artists experimenting in public, so I know they'll keep going. They've clearly, it's not the first time, so they will keep going. Like Ian said, I've listened to the last project as well. I'd listened to it before, I listened to it again this time around. 2019, of course, lockdown in between, COVID, what? Now they've come through again, so I assume they'll keep it going. So we're looking forward to seeing where they go from there. I liked their collaboration choices. I like how their presence has been online, because that's something we've talked about, people who drop and disappear.
Yeah.
I like that they've been deliberate about being around from actually slightly before their release, not these things of just waking up on release day. So I like that they've done that. So we hope they keep it going and grow, learn, improve.
Right.
They decided to be rebels in the music industry.
They were rebelling against music.
The music also was like,
I won't forget the person who said that these guys sound like they hate music.
We shared it in a group. No, for real. This is not us. We shared it in a group, and Mars was like, "These guys sound like they hate music."
Yo. Anyway,
people can review music. So I want us to ease things up a bit, because man, these reviews have been hectic. So we are going to play a little game in honor of Taka HD. Okay. So here's the thing. I'm going to give you guys my co-hosts quotes of Taka's verses. All you have to do is to guess which Taka song that is. If you get it right, I put 10,000
in my pocket
on the MoMoPay code of the podcast. If you get it wrong, you put 10K.
10K in this economy, you man.
In this economy, the podcast has to self-sustain itself. So I'm going to start with you, Ian. This is the first.
Can I first give this disclaimer though? Yeah. Felix told us he was going to do this. I came through in the morning listening to Taka songs. I was like, let me pick this one, let me pick that one. I try. Let me tell you, this man has many words.
It's impossible.
I know I have mob jazz. This guy has many words.
You were trying to cheat.
First of all, his verses are like, I finish a song, I'm rapping along. it ends and I'm like, if they ask me anything about that song, instant fail. I was those kids trying to read on my way to the exam.
Fattening the cow on market day.
It's a rumor, but I wish us luck.
So Ian, I start with you. I got new money like South Sudan. My bills are too big for the counters. I buy the bars, the barmen, and the bouncers. I figured since we are at Nihati, I start with that one. Counter, bars, barmen. Okay, bouncers are here saying that. Yeah. So which song is that? I can repeat it.
Repeat.
I got new money, baby, like South Sudan. By the way, this song when it came out, South Sudan had just been given independence.
You're giving him a clue.
It was brilliant. It was a brilliant.
We're not going to get the song.
My bills are too big for the counters.
What it is.
I buy the bars, the barmen, and the bouncers.
I can't quite remember, but I think this was.
You don't guess a song?
Actually, we should put a time frame.
This was BRYAN, right?
No.
Hey, we put him here 10K.
It's an airport taxi song.
Yeah, it's an airport taxi song. But you're going to put 10K even if because now they have cheated for you. It's an airport taxi.
It has gum. You've gum. You're not going to get it. It's not one of the ones.
I don't think I'm going to get it.
You're not going to get it. I also don't know the title.
Let's go to the music.
That one.
Music, yeah. Shout out to Martha Smalls.
Bringer of it.
But you say Taka song.
Catch Martha and
I should have said
Taka.
Taka verses. Mark.
I'll say that.
Mark, this is easy, man. Not embarrass.
You see how it's easy when you're getting for other people. When it's mine, I'm not going to get that stuff.
No, you're going to. Riding with gorillas. That's 50.
Get it? Riding with gorillas. Yeah.
She probably has fly. I'll guess the song.
No. Burn.
Burn, yeah.
I was already riding with gorillas. That's
Mark.
50. Get it? No?
When music makes me a milli, I'll split it 40-40.
Is it Ian's turn?
It's you again.
I'll split it 40-40.
Don't forget that you're putting that 10K I got burned.
Yeah. When music makes me a
I don't want the
milli,
people to hear.
I'll split it with 40-40, 50-50. Swerve in a benzo, we're riding with Billy B.
The Wizkid remix with Severe all of them. Severe, Suspect, Benny. What's the song called?
But I know that song. Yeah, you know, but maybe that song title.
Wait. Can we come back?
Time frame.
I know that song.
You're giving us 10K.
You're giving us 10K. I'm giving you the full track list. Shabba.
You're giving us 10K. We've cheated for you.
No, I know the whole thing.
You see, let me tell you guys. Yesterday, Ian abused me. So he has to pay. So all the hard verses.
What did I abuse you?
I'm coming for Ian. Ian.
What's the other people? What did I abuse you?
I was even singing it.
So Ian.
Something like that.
That Nango told us, I got this from song. Oh my God.
The words can't be the song.
Okay. I'm at Gardens in season with a spice. Or you could say I'm in Eden with a bite. A blessing in possession of the qualities I'm seeking in a wife.
But now,
this is a new song. Hold on, this is a new Taka song. This is a season with Sprite. Just left for Baraka.
Yeah.
Hey, well done.
Yes.
Well done. But this one is for the entire class. Even the guys behind the scenes. You can sing along. Papa rapa bana. Rapa bana.
So you don't sound weird. Little rana gana.
So heavyweight ngabasaka bana. Try to agrana. To avoid the Uganda. The chawa gana. The chawa gana. Katakazi ulimwaka bana. Wakasana akatono akatono. Ketwa gabana. Ketwa gabana. Kube soso ton kwa agrana.
But to make this circle complete, I feel like Felix should also answer one.
I want to give him one.
Let's give him first.
But you're going to get you're going to guess it.
Do you want him?
No, give him. But
no, you give him. Let me look for an area of the song you want to get. You give him yours.
No, your favorite song, but he'll get it because it's your favorite song.
It's the one I was actually looking at.
This is an unfair one.
But yeah, is it still Mashallah? Now why you stopped? Like,
we
have to be responsible citizens.
He's now asking us, what do you mean?
That was the old me.
But the Baraka now, that one still standard.
Wait, Ian, what song is it? Ian, what?
I was going to give you my favorite Taka song.
No, but what song was that? The Baraka?
It's the one on Barrow's thingy.
Redefinition.
What's the title?
I thought when we don't get the name, he pays. If he didn't let me pay,
entire class. So okay.
What's the title of the song? But it's on Barrow's.
He talked about it. He literally talked about it.
Damn it! Title was.
Literally just
wait, HR. How do we allow some of these people to just come and
make it onto the pod?
Anyway, redefinitions.
Lyrics are not on title right now. So.
No, I'm looking for another Taka song.
You're actually looking. Okay. Taka. The reason why I said this man has many words, like first of all, this year alone, man has released too many songs. I think we've seen them.
Felix, I have one for you.
Yeah.
We've seen them.
I said in studio, my Saba Saba sings in a voice.
You know when that thing
this
came
guy
out,
filmed that stuff. He had
I was on set,
videos.
but then also when it came out, I remember I hit you up later. Then we started doing verse of the day, and then I get you would put on a verse.
So quick too.
No. That one he was too involved. that was. That video is still on the Tribe.
You know that you like halfway. Okay, like towards the end of the verse, you say, "Trash your album, boy. How come he doesn't have a Taka verse?" Something like that.
Man.
So, if your album doesn't have a Taka verse,
is that why the recent Wake had Taka, the recent B-Flex had Taka? The guys are like Ninja C is like Taka.
No, by then I wasn't shooting at anyone. I was really just speaking it into existence.
you were on the cypher energy
because
like
yes, and again I'm a fan of the music. I'll listen to these people's albums, and you hear a song and you're like, I should have been on that song.
You know, but also
I feel like there's something I should have contributed to that song.
Taka
I
verse.
didn't get the calls.
Like which song?
Yeah.
I just wanted to.
You know, getting Taka on your verse is a very, very big risk. Because chances are he's going to outshine you.
Hi,
Chances are we're going to make a dope song together.
Yeah, because we'll be there like Taka's verse, yes.
We are going to make a dope song together.
So
even then, if anything, your approach should be like, let me also make sure I deliver my best.
But
for you, you're showing out to your fans. This is going to your fans. So as long as your fans are like, hey,
we got a song from our guy.
Ian delivered, and this Taka guy is doing his thing, but Ian delivered what we wanted.
It's different. It's like taking your boy to your village for Christmas, yeah. And you pull up in your Mark X, and your guy comes in a Range Rover. Guys will be like, as much as you brought your boy, but look,
is that why you never invite us to your village for Christmas?
You guys may embarrass me. My villagers know I'm a champion. But have you had a scenario where the verse you verse on a feature is so good, and the artist is like, "Yo, do me a solid. Let's take this thing off, cause."
or they come and they re-record their verse.
Or they drop the album without
or
your
they
song.
don't release the song.
No to all.
But guys, those are solutions in case Taka ever buys
like to be honest with you guys though, I've had someone remove me off. 2 rappers actually.
Yeah.
Just take me off their song.
Are they from?
Without letting me know. So
let's leave that.
are they from?
I was going to say
the question, I'll give you
region,
an answer.
but you know it's a handful of rappers from that region.
So which one?
I don't know. Okay, I don't want the smoke.
So, but it happens. I don't know. Maybe the verse wasn't good enough. Maybe it was something they didn't like.
Maybe it wasn't good enough. No, actually, with all this music you've been releasing like this year, which has been a lot, is it just, because rappers rap, so, is it just rappers rap, or are we building towards something? Do we have, our longer, you know, every time I see you, I have to ask about our long-awaited album. Do we have that album coming through? Okay, is it at least in the works or complete, seated, hidden? Like there's a certain rapper who's always telling us my album is coming on Twitter, and Ian is always quarreling with him.
Yeah, but anyway,
who's that?
Yeah, let's not play games.
Someone is being very sharp today.
Because Taka was coming, you were like, you know what? Let me get my iPolo hat on. Sharpen the pencil.
I think every after a while breaks are good because people come back. But in regards to the album, yes, I have to stand in front of that question everywhere I go.
Yes, especially when I'm there.
But I feel like from the previous times, the procrastination has been so much.
Yeah.
But I think it's a lesson I learned very well with the lockdown and everything, when everything came to a stop, literally.
Yeah.
So now, I think since then, since lockdown, I've been trying to get music out.
Yeah.
Because Benny and I, crucial combination. Benny and I, we record so much. We share so much things left and right. So the writing process is now like up there, but due to the procrastination, I've ended up in this situation where there's so much lying around. And as a creative, sometimes it hinders your creative process. And I feel like the solution now has been to like push as much out as possible. Some of the things you're hearing this year were not recorded this year. Some have just been sitting around. So it's just now me putting pressure on myself, like, hey, if you want the album, there's a way to do it, but like get all this stuff out so you can function properly the way you would want to.
The mindset of an album.
Yeah, and you know, no pressure, but there is what? Monkeypox. So you better give us the album before everything comes to a standstill again.
Chickenpox.
That's why I don't even mess with chicken. That's next to chickenpox.
So yeah, that's definitely still in the plans. But like
is it
I
already
said,
ongoing?
Yeah.
Any outside the country features?
Speaking of, that's what I wanted to ask. But for me, it was more of like, what are the ideal Taka features on a Taka album?
Like, as
you understand? No, generally speaking. Because, like,
without
for me,
was the ones that you already have lined up? Or
no.
Just if you have to
for
choose
features, it's more of like, okay, I'm bringing this guy on because I know he's going to do what I'm not able to do probably on this song, probably on this project. But for me, you've done everything. So ideally, what's that vision like for you when you are going to get a guide feature on your project?
So, Blixxack, the others? We can start the list.
I'm sure you can get the second one correct as well if you tried. But like normally, for me, my processes, I like to work on everything. What's Frank White? No. Come on. Don't do that. I like to work on, if I'm doing a project, I like to work on it in its entirety.
Yeah.
Then at the end, I start to identify the areas where it's like, okay, I think this artist can add something here.
Yeah.
That a third Taka verse is still dope, but it's not doing. You can take them somewhere else.
Yeah.
So I've not necessarily gotten to those parts. Of course, Blixxack is going to make an appearance somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've not gotten into the details yet of who.
Because me personally, I wouldn't be mad if it's Taka alone from start to finish. Okay, with like Lamu to sing for Ian, but still.
No. But that's the whole essence of it. It's like I don't want to change so much with my first project. As much as, fortunately or unfortunately, I've been doing it for a while, so people know what Taka can deliver, and they're curious about what he would sound with this and that. I want to own the first project as this is me. Then going forward, you can experiment and see where that leads you.
So in terms of if you had to forget the known names who have over time collaborated with the hip hop side, if you had to pick from the other side.
What do you mean the other side?
The Chidandadi in court.
Queen Shiba.
Does it have to be Sudan, Daddy?
Not necessarily.
It could be getting singers, let's say.
But those are singers as well.
Like,
aren't they?
In general, like, I mean, cut it at just singers.
Well, first on the list would be Joshua Baraka. I like he's pushing his music.
Yeah.
Creative wise. Like I like what he's doing with it. So I think that would be interesting to see what that would sound like. I'm torn between Winnie Nwaji and Sheba.
This smackist.
I know it has nothing. It has nothing to do with that. It's more about their reach music wise. I'm curious to know what Tucker with that mindset, Tucker trying to create music for that mindset, but still as a hip hop artist would sound like. I haven't challenged myself to do that.
Yeah.
So I always find it interesting. Another name I always bring up is Gravity. Because I like the raw, grimy bit he brings to hip hop. That's not there anymore.
Yeah.
Not there anymore with us, the people who rap in English. Like there's no guy who just comes with that energy and you feel like Big Ben does it sometimes, but there are not so many of them. So I'm curious about what that would sound like.
How about I don't know. I've always felt like a Sheba would benefit a lot. Okay, not her, but like us, the music audience, would benefit a lot from a Sheba Tucker song. Because it's something, you're both uniquely gifted. I feel like if you combined your art, it would give birth to something that's just completely different.
Is gifted.
Uniquely gifted.
My guy. I see
Before these guys go off whatever, first of all, for those of you who haven't, we've been talking about all these performances we've been going for. Next week, 28th, at the Meet Guy, Tucker is going to be bringing it. Martha Smalls is going to be there, killing it in multiple ways, I guess, because she's going to do both sides. Because I saw her written as guest chef, so I assume that along the way. Anyway, let me not assume. We shall wait and see. And then a dope band as well.
Do you know to know it having a vinto via trademark? Nah,
True.
Tribe Sunday special at the Meet Guy. We have Martha Smalls as a guest chef. Like
so, LNF, the word that appears, the word that he said before Sunday special, just mute it. This Sunday special.
Actually,
but yeah, man.
Shout out to Meet Guy.
Shout out to Meet Guy for constantly helping out the artists and the industry, because he's really given guys a platform to come through, enjoy the vibe, enjoy the meets, apply it. That's really dope. But as we get out of that and as we conclude, Tucker, I want to read something that we saw somewhere on the
interwebs,
the Twitter spaces, the written tweets. What? No, this one, don't worry, don't be scared. A certain rapper somewhere said, "I really want beef with rappers so bad. Just dropping normal songs is getting boring." And someone quoted that and said, "Nigerian hip hop is boring as hell." So I understand his pain. There's almost no motivation to rap because Nigerian rappers are mid. I don't know if you meant mild, but okay. If you want beef though, try some of these South African and UG rappers. Mentions a few, and then Tucker can give you all that work. Hey. So you just be there city and guys be like, hey, if you want beef, go and call up Tucker.
You go and play in that beehive there.
But you go and poke that.
But you guys, when you take this podcast to the next level, I saw that street. It was Black Bones. It was Black Bones in Nigerian. And first and foremost, I felt like he has no right to say that, because the last situation he was in,
they bodied him.
It became a tricky time for him.
Hey!
The last situation. He engaged. It was Calibre.
Yeah, it was Calibre.
It didn't end well.
So you guys are rebellious on this podcast.
I just don't want to talk about Black Bones, but for me, Black Bones has become. For me, it has been like, I've paid attention to what he has done, and for me, it has been how he has mastered social media. So everything he says just to trigger that social media response to most of his things.
But you see, after a while, it becomes repetitive. It becomes boring. becomes boring. Now, even me, like if someone tags me in that, I'm like, what's the whole
value
point?
here?
What's the whole point? I saw what you did with your previous project or whatever you were promoting. Fine, it worked, but then you're now not going to drag me into it. When obviously you're the one who's better placed with the better resources to benefit from this.
Yeah. But generally, as beef, are you? Because now you're slaughtering goats, so we don't know if beef you are also slaughtering.
So by slaughtering goats, some rappers have accused themselves of being goats. By any chance,
remember that time when everyone was coming up with a list of 50 people who are goats in the industry, like that all time.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So probably
I actually think next level we need a list like that, but for here.
I don't think we're there yet, personally.
Okay, give us 10. Okay, give us
even
5.
10, we're not yet there.
Give us 5.
Really, like I have like 1 or 2.
Give us 5.
And then the third one is the tribe UG.
These are the conversations.
Producer is going to chase you guys. These are
the conversations that need to be had.
And you're causing problems.
Do you feel like music then and now? Do you feel like now hip hop is no longer as there's this thing where we say like the golden era is gone? Do you feel that way?
No, but that's wrong because they're different eras. Eras change, people grow, and that's a conversation I was having with someone 10 years ago. The focus on UG hip hop, even hip hop in general, the focus on UG hip hop and what our expectations are from a hip hop artist are different with this generation or this era or people who started making music 4-3 years ago. Because you realize you have a different audience. The audience is looking for different things.
Yes.
They're not so many are looking out for the bars. Maybe now they want storytelling or now they want melodies. So I feel like when you say golden era, each era can be a golden era. There'll be a best person in this era. There'll be a Jaycee of an era. There'll be a Lil Wayne of an era. And then there'll be a Drake of an era. And they'll all be successful at different levels.
But do you, because I put this in terms of how you can rap for long and then what's that thing you guys say? Because
there's a difference between being an OG and rapping for long.
Yeah, because I feel like the golden era names stuck. But now, one moment someone is here, one moment is not. And just like Felix said, the streaming era and whatever we're in now, music is so disposable, so you come and go as quickly as.
But then I feel like, again, not all the golden era names.
Yeah.
Because just like there are people from the golden era still making quality now, there are people from the golden era that they're making, what they're making now is a shadow of what they made previously.
Yeah.
You know? So it goes both ways. I feel like it's determined by the era in which you fall or the era in which you fell in love with music. You have a deeper appreciation for that.
Yeah.
And you just have to focus on what you like and go with that. And you know, they call us old heads. You let the kids enjoy what they enjoy and don't get in their way.
Yeah.
Hey, we never do podcast episodes that are shadow of our previous episodes.
Guys, before we get in trouble, we'd like to thank you for sticking with us. Taka would like to thank you for coming through. And guys, do we disturb Taka as we get out of this episode?
Taka has to give us a little something.
It was a pressure. I have to give you guys something.
A little something.
Ian, first say something while I
get our thoughts.
You know, when he said some
to be right,
some golden era artists are still killing it and some are not, some are shadow of their former selves. I remember the certain episode in season 1. Greatness is not that easy to achieve, by the way. Well,
you still look as sharpener. You just have to sharpen your pencil. You came for everyone. You came for everyone.
Anyway,
you guys have said things. I don't know.
But as Taka gets his thoughts together, I just want to say, Taka, thanks for coming. As usual, guys, you've supported us on the podcast, the press play, the website.
Y'all have been great.
You've come through. And it's evident as the numbers keep increasing. Yeah. So thank you for sharing with your people. Thank you for getting new people on. Because even in the comments, we see people who are just joining the tribe. Yeah. And the tribe is expanding.
Hey, finally.
Don't be slow. The tribe has to expand.
No, I thought you had what's the thing?
We don't need.
It's been raining.
We don't need.
Felix has landed.
No, I haven't landed. Just that the expectations this man is putting out there and the manifestation is doing. I'm not yet there.
But it has been raining of late.
Our tribe, as the tribe, the people who are part of our country.
You don't look. I was getting a cousin.
I'm not yet ready for all that responsibility. But yeah, shout outs to you guys, and then also shout outs to Mid Guy who partnered with us on the previous episode. So yeah, Taka, over to you.
I feel like since we're here, it's only one right way to close it. We're here with Mr. Forbes and Buffalo Soldier. Check yourself and stop the green and nonsense. What's the dotted line then if we ain't seeing the commas? All we need is a profit. Ain't no need for the optics till we go from blind faith to revolting seeing the options. And we don't need a challenge, a cause, a reason, a concept. No, we'll execute it and shoot a season of content. Yeah, man. Pack punches beat the bars and end everything that are option. It's either treason or arson in case they're ringing the cops in. Still keep the peace, but I know they seeking a conflict. Ceasefire, but no, I'm open to breaching the charters. Slaving for whips and chains, but with hopes of keeping the masters loose. Lucid dreams of even surpassing the Keenans and Caspers. Y'all can stand with tribe. Only a few that's ticking the boxes. Kemi told me hold the vision, believe in the process. So I sowed the seeds, now I'm overseeing the garden. But round here we slaughter the goats that bleed at the farmers. So.
Back to sender.